you've announced
G'day,
11,367 new homes and rebuilds, or part of the Homebuilder scheme. The goal was 27,000, though, so you're some way short.
Well, no, Pete, given the way in which the scheme operates, we weren't really expecting to get to this level probably until mid-November. So it's tracking well ahead of our expectations. There was also, very pleasingly, more data that confirms just how successful the Homebuilder program has been. It was released by the HIA yesterday, which shows that in the first 4 months since Homebuilder's been in place, we've seen a 49.8% increase in new home sales when compared to the previous 4. And indeed, we've now got new home sales on a month-by-month basis higher, not only pre-pandemic, but higher than any month in the last 2 years. So, the Homebuilder program was designed to get the housing industry at least back to where it was at pre-pandemic levels. We never expected that it would actually get to exceeding where the housing market was at pre-pandemic levels. So we're very pleased with how it's tracking.
Okay, they are applications, though. How many grants have actually been paid out?
Oh, there's about 800 that have been paid out, but Pete, the payouts of the grants are guaranteed. They just occur when you reach milestones. So we don't give people the grant on day one when they make the application. Here's a cheque for $25,000.
No.
That's certainly not how these schemes operate.
But can you apply and still be rejected?
When you start the project. No, if you apply and you meet all the criteria, provided you meet that criteria, you'll absolutely get the grant. And the reason why we've seen new home sales increase so dramatically since the scheme's been put in place is that people have that surety that they will be obtaining the grant. That's what's been the catalyst for people to do it. And let's remember, this scheme is about new home sales. That's what the metric is that I'm looking at, because new home sales is the thing that drives jobs in the residential construction industry that employs hundreds of thousands of Australians. So again, not my data, HIA data, which shows that since Homebuilder, 49.8% increase. We're very pleased.
But the 11,367 applications, will all of those be given grants, or can they still be rejected? So they can still be rejected.
No. Well, if you don't ever start the project, you'll be rejected. I mean, you've got to actually start the house. You've got to lay the slab. In most states, you've pretty well got to start earthworks. At that point, you get the payment. So provided you've applied, you meet the criteria, and you eventually start the project, well, you get the grant when you commence. That's how this operates. This sort of argument out there that we should somehow, people would walk into the State Revenue Office, fill out a piece of paper and get a $25,000 cheque, that's somehow the test of whether the program works or not is, I think, bizarre. No, you get the grant when you start the house, because why are we giving people a grant of taxpayers' money? Because it employs hundreds of thousands of people to build those homes. So, again, Treasury estimates are that we'll have a program that supports 27,000 projects. I think now there's no doubt we'll exceed that, but certainly 27,000 is what we're expecting at the very minimum. And again, the problems, if there's one problem with the scheme that I'm hearing at the moment, Pete, is that there are builders saying to me, and in fact, in my inbox this morning when I woke up, there was another 2 emails saying, we've got a good problem to deal with, and that is we're struggling to get all the work done that we have on the books. And I think if anybody said that to the building industry after the pandemic commenced, they would have taken that every day of the week.
The scheme finishes at the end of the year. That's not very far away. Will that have to be extended?
Look, Pete, we're keeping a really close eye on it. The PM has said that. Obviously, a scheme that's working well, that's supporting the industry. If you look at the Master Builders Association, they've said it's the best stimulus that the industry has seen for a very long time. The HIA, the Property Council have all basically said that the Homebuilder program is underpinning the market for them at the moment. All of those factors obviously go in favour of the program, because if it's working, which it clearly is, of course we'd be more favourably disposed to looking at that. But we've just got to keep an eye on it. The scheme is still operating until 31 December. We're keeping a really close eye on it, Pete, and we'll make a call as that date gets closer.
OK, just on to matters out of Victoria, what would be your message to Daniel Andrews this weekend? A lot of talk about him easing restrictions. A lot of talk about it so far, easing restrictions on Sunday. What would be your message to him?
Well, look, my message is that, Victorians are hurting. Lives and livelihoods have been impacted in the most significant way. There have been a couple of occasions in the last fortnight, Pete, where daily cases in New South Wales have been higher than the comparable daily cases in Victoria. And yet I was in Sydney yesterday, and, the city is operating in a COVID-safe way. In fact, the whole state is operating in a COVID-safe way. So, if New South Wales can do it, my message to the Victorian state government would be, well, it's not beyond the Victorian state government to give people their freedom back, let people start their businesses again, see their families again, see their elderly parents, many of whom haven't seen them for months. In fact, I was talking to somebody yesterday who lives in a hotspot in Melbourne who has had 3 days of relative freedom since the 27th of March, which means she's been in her house every day since then, effectively for 22 to 23 hours a day. So, I think we all understand the significant mental health and other consequences that have led from the hotel quarantine disaster. Now's the time for Victoria to take a big step forward.
OK, Michael, I can't let you go without asking about these talking points, your media talking points that have been released to the media this morning accidentally. Minister Sukkar allegations, OK, it says, as the Minister has said, I deny any association with the misuse of parliamentary resources, and note I have recently been cleared by the Department of Finance's independent review. So that's supposed to be your reaction to questions about that. Is that about right?
Well, Pete, I saw that the talking points have been leaked, and I suspect we're obviously just so proud of the talking points, we thought we'd cut out the middleman and get them straight to you, Pete. So that's my only explanation.
OK, I'm going to test you here. The question is, does the budget do enough for women?
Pete, anyone around this place will tell you I'm not someone who slavishly follows talking points.
Come on, give us a go. Give us the 3 points that you're supposed to hit.
It probably hasn't helped my career that I don't slavishly follow talking points, Pete. So I'm not going to attempt to. But if you want me to speak about the budget and women, I'm very happy to say that I think it's extraordinary that the Labor Party would say that women are not just as invested in our economy and tax cuts and jobs for small business. I think this idea that that the budget ignored women is false. If you look at everything we did in the budget, it was about strengthening the economy. It was about jobs growth, opportunities, apprenticeships. In fact, I do a lot of work with Tradeswomen Australia and was on site with a female brickie, the first female brickie, I must say, that I've ever met a couple of days ago. So we're very proud of what this does for all Australians, including women, as a budget. And I think it's a bit strange that the Labor Party's gone down this path.
OK, just finally, are there talking points for when talking points are released?
No, Pete, I'm just winging it. So, unfortunately, I haven't been able to rely on that today, mate. You've got me on the hop.